there's an exchange going on between Bill Ackman and Marc Cuban. Okay.
Cool.
Rob, if you can go to the Bill Ackman one, I'll read that. And then, no, go back, Rob. Go back, go to the bottom where it's Bill. There you go. Okay. So, Bill Ackman is saying things about the president. I've been criticized by some for sharing these President of the United States Biden videos, which appear almost every day. I read numerous articles which somehow suggest that the camera angle, the duration of the clip, right-wing manipulation. Some people are old at 81. Others are sharp, vigorous, and impressive, comparing Warren Buffett at 93 and Biden at 81. Biden is an old 81 who can't find his way off stage or stay present or focused at G7 conferences. That who should be the leader of the free world for the next 5 years. A president should not have to be let off stage by hand or with an arm wrapped around him. That is not the image of strength and leadership we need as a country. Look at what is going on in the world. The perception of weak leadership in the United States has led to global chaos. The reality of weak leadership is a long-term, serious, continuous threat to our society. The Democratic Party is destroying itself by advancing Biden for a second term. This is the emperor's new clothes in real life, but it is not a children's book or a joke. The world is at great risk, and a Biden second term is a grave threat to global security and prosperity. Okay, so now he's retweeting a Piers Morgan clip of the event, and Piers Morgan said, so embarrassing, the Democrats can't let this go on, surely. So then go back, Rob, one clip to see how Marc Cuban responds to Bill Ackman. Now, keep in mind, Bill Ackman is worth $10 billion, okay? So he's just as successful as Cuban is. Cuban is obviously more famous. So let's go through it. Marc Cuban. You guys, Rob, can you move that, please? You guys both, Piers Morgan and Bill Ackman, are so consumed with pandering to your Twitter followers, you have lost all credibility.
Objectivity.
Objectivity. I'll let you both in on a secret. Both candidates are old, very old. They are both going to have senior moments, misremember, forget things, and have physical frailties. Go a little lower, Rob, if you could. I'll tell you a not-so-secret. One is great at sound bites, but also thinks in sound bites. The other is awful at sound bites, but thinks in complete sentences, meaning that's Biden.
Yeah.
Voters will decide which we prefer. You're right. They will. Here's my response, if you can go back one. I said, Mark, it's quite simple. Your candidate sucks and is not marketable. You have two problems. Why is the new Mavs owner, Miriam Adelson, being targeted by the NBA for reportedly giving $100 million to Trump since conviction? Okay. Two, how will you use your influence to replace Biden before DNC? Now, can you type in Miriam Adelson, Dallas Mavs, and put Trump? Miriam Adelson is a very, very wealthy woman who is respected tremendously. Zoom in a little bit. She is noted a Republican donor who in 2020 gave $172 million to GOP initiatives, according to Torres podcast, has given $100 million to Trump's campaign since conviction. This reportedly caused NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to place restrictions on her ownership of the team.
Oh, weird.
What? Can you go to the article, please?
And her husband was the late Sheldon Adelson, the casino magnate out there, and that's how she has all this money.
Yes. Can you zoom in a little bit? Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could. Close that. There you go. Go on a little lower, Rob. Okay. So, Adelson, no, the Republican talks. Okay, go a little lower. Go a little lower. Go a little lower. There we go. Republican commission. Okay. Her political reputation was apparently so radioactive that the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will not allow her to be the governor of the team. So Miriam's son-in-law, Patrick Dumont, an executive at her casino company, was appointed governor of the Mavericks instead. And the reason why the ostensibly left-leaning NBA insisted on this is obvious once you step just a foot outside of sports, because nobody donated more to Trump in 2020 than Miriam Adelson. So it's interesting that the new Mavs owner is her supporting Trump, NBA not happy. Could this be, what are the likelihood that Adam Silver called Cuban? I don't know. What is the likelihood of Adam Silver saying, hey, this is going on? I don't know. What is the likelihood that Cuban called Adam Silver? I don't know. I actually don't think Cuban called Adam Silver because Cuban's doing some real estate business with them, is what they're doing. But who do you think Adam Silver prefers as an owner? You think Marc Cuban or Adelson? Which do you think?
Cuban.
Of course it's Marc Cuban, because Marc Cuban is on the same page politically as, he is.
The NBA.
Silver.
Very similar. And in the NBA, if you are a conservative Republican team owner, you better keep it to yourself and not anybody else. You cannot do that in the NBA. Maybe you can get away with it a little bit in the NFL. You can get away with it a little bit more in the MLB. You can get away with it maybe in a couple other sports. UFC, he does not give a shit. Dana White could give a shit on how different he is as a commissioner than Adam Silver. Adam Silver is worried because she's giving money to Trump. So what's the point here? Tom, you see a story like this with Ackman and Cuban going back and forth with Marc Cuban's arguments being made about where they're at, and you see what the new ownership is. How does he manage a relationship like that where the new owners are so right? He knew that before he sold the company to them. It's not like he didn't know about that. How do you think this relationship moves forward with the two of them?
How does Marc manage it or Adam manage it?
All three. Put Marc, Adam, and Miriam.
Okay. For Miriam, there's nothing to manage. You know, she is who she is, and she's very clear about it. And her somewhat less volatile son-in-law has been the ceremonial governor of the team, which is like chairman of the board, right? You have some power, but you can't just sweeping things. How does Marc manage it? Marc wanted to sell part of the team and make some bank to go do some of the other things. And there were very few people out there that had enough coin to do it. But remember this. The NBA approved the deal. The NBA knew
Who she was.
her father, her husband was Sheldon, knew what was going on. And I believe there's a lot of truth behind that the NBA was moving gambling forward because remember, all the leagues hated gambling until they can make big money on it. Now it's okay. And now we can put DraftKings on the scoreboards and on all the media posters around the stadium. So Marc knew who she was and wanted to get money. The NBA knew who she was, and they approved her as a purchaser. So Adam and Marc have got no room to say, oh my gosh, look at this. No. You knew it. The kind of scrutiny they go through to do it. So how does Marc Cuban manage it? The way he is. He comes out with a mamby-pamby text response to Bill Ackman and comes out with that like that, shows some support for Biden like that, and then goes on. But this is really disingenuous story because the amount of scrutiny that goes on in sports ownership, something you know something about, Pat, is pretty freaking significant. They knew exactly who she was.
And how long ago was this, Pat? When did the
less than a year, right?
Oh yeah, less than a year.
Oh, so
because he bragged that he paid income taxes in April, a big giant check.
Happened this year, 2024.
This year, got you. So do you think Adam Silver, who's Jewish, you think his attitude on presidency has changed since that year because of all the anti-Semitic left-pushing garbage, college campuses and everything that's happening right now, Adam? Do you think it would change? Because Adam Silver is Jewish. I mean, I would think, why would you support an administration that is pro Hamas, pro, squad, pro all this? I mean, I would think that guy would change his attitude. Don't you think? Like, why would you be going pro Biden?
Adam Silver is pro
Adam Silver. No, I'm saying
Adam Silver is pro NBA.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but I mean,
he's focused on the NBA. That's what his.
But you don't understand what I'm saying, though, right? Why are you supporting an administration that gives two shits about you, your people, your what? Is it just a woke DEI agenda with the NBA? I'm thinking he would change his.
Well, if you want to label the NBA anything, I would say that they're social justice warriors.
Big time.
We saw what happened in the bubble, but just to kind of hone in on this, I think Bill Ackman. Whether it's Jamie Dimon, whether it's Bill Ackman, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's even Joe Rogan, there's a lot of people that have changed their tune on who they're willing to vote for these days. None of these guys considered Trump in 2016 or even 2020. A lot of them are like, yeah, I don't, this Biden situation, yeah, I don't, all right, Trump. But, again, back to the point that this is the dreaded double haters election. Both candidates have historically high unfavorability ratings. And Bill Ackman's absolutely right about Joe Biden is the emperor that has no clothes on. Both candidates are deeply flawed. Forget about my opinion. Just look at the numbers. I mean, Trump's the only candidate in American history that never had a 50% approval rating. Never. Joe Biden started at like 60 and it plummeted within the first 6 months. So this guy just completely fell apart, literally and figuratively. But in this election, we have the lesser of two evils. And, age is a problem for Biden, not so much for Trump, despite, some things he says. It's nobody's worried about his age. People are worried about Trump's character, and they're worried about Biden's competence. So we're going to see what happens here. Speaking of the character, how many people in Biden administration the first time and Trump's administration the first time are endorsing him this time? Not many. That's a problem. How many people in the Republican Party, what they say behind closed doors versus what they say in front of the cameras, singing a different tune. Behind closed doors, you hear all the stories. Oh my God, I can't believe this. In front of the camera, they're never going to go against MAGA. By the way, Biden, behind closed doors, they're all saying, dude, this guy's freaking falling apart.
Of course.
And then they're lying on camera, being like, he's the strongest, most fervent president I've ever seen. It's like nobody's believing this right now. So unfortunately, we're at a time of our country where the fear of the other guy outweighs the fear of your own candidate. So we're going to have a close election, and these conversations are going to continue.
And what was it called on the double? What did you call it? The double
hater.
But the double hater. But the only difference is one of them is actual, like Biden. People just hate him because they see what he's doing. The other one was manufactured and fabricated. People were taught and trained to hate Trump. Period. From the beginning. Racist, Hitler, all that bullshit. Now the truth is coming to the light. So one was propped up, and one we're actually seeing what Joe Biden does.
I don't disagree with you.
Let me wrap this up. We got 2 minutes before we wrap up. I'll finish up with his second tweet here, Marc Cuban. Rob, can you pull up Piers Morgan's reaction? He's reacting to Piers Morgan. I think Bill and I are more consumed with reality than you seem to be, Mr. Cuban, right? And then go all the way up. LOL, you are 59, I'm 65. Guess what? Both of our hearing is going to decline. There are going to be things we don't hear well, don't see well, words that don't come as easily, things that hurt when we move and slow us down, things we forgot and have to make a note of. Now imagine being 78 and 81, but as being stated by many, physical and sensory limitations don't reflect intellectual capacity. He's still going for it, doubling down. What matters to me is the ability to understand and deal with concepts and strategy and bring together leaders globally. By the way, this is not a good look for him. To make this argument that Biden's doing this. You think, Mark, sincerely, you're a smart guy. You think he's bringing leaders together? Did he bring Putin and Zelensky together? Did he do anything to bring Israel and maybe the leaders of power? Did he do any? What is he? Who was he brought together? I'm actually really curious.
He was just at the G7.
What has he unified to have leadership skills, even if you do them while in a rocking chair? What are your thoughts on the many people who have worked in the former administration close to the president, who have spoken publicly on the record about his intellectual, ethical, and leadership challenges versus the fact that no one has done so with the current president? Adam,
I just want to ask you a question, because you're the only one here who's actually spent time with Cuban, and you've interviewed him, once, twice?
One time.
Okay. Yeah. It's clear. I mean, he is on the Biden train. He's riding with Biden, and he's anti-Trump. Why? Why take this stance? You're an NBA owner. Not many NBA owners are going out there being public. I mean, you're in Texas. Texas ain't exactly a woke
Go back
area.
to what he can. Well, you have to see this, what he says. A guy says something to him. Go to his account, Rob, if you can. You were just on him right now.
Maybe he's angry about losing the finals.
So if you go to...
This is days ago.
No, this is days ago. If you go to his account, right there. So go down a little bit. You just had it, but it's fine. The guy asked him a question. Marc Cuban, a billionaire Republican, lays out the facts to whether the choice in November is Biden or Trump. He's voting Biden, and he hasn't even considered many. First of all, he's not a Republican.
Yeah.
At least his actions don't say so. The many compassionate social issues I don't care about, including protecting our Mother Earth. Look at the facts. I won't vote for anyone that doesn't believe climate change is real.
Number one.
By the way, click on the tweet from him and go to the bottom of the comment section. Go a little lower, 8.6 million views. You have a $19 million oceanfront home in California in Laguna Beach. What's the okay? And it's not oceanfront, but it's a great ocean view. Now tell me about the property insurance along coastlines. How is the insurance in Florida? How happy are homeowners about their insurance property? Why do you think it's gotten so expensive? Show more a little bit. Why do you think it's gotten so more? And then he puts the Reuters article. Yeah, that is accurate. Go lower. Don't change the subject. Ocean View is close to the ocean. And if sea levels were rising, you wouldn't live there like Obama's and Pelosi's and the rest of your gaslighting idiots. You own 2 private jets, plenty of fuel-sucking cars. I doubt you're a vegan, so keep your...
I love her.
So you see how this is kind of like Sarah Rose. I don't know who she is, but good argument that you're making. But the point is, he's telling you where he's at position-wise. He is very good at... massaging it. The one thing I like when he's given his arguments, and many times he'll put it together with, I've read this, I've read that, and you wouldn't become a billionaire if you're not somebody that, thinks
not
sharply.
an idiot.
No, there's no way. There's no way he is.
Politically, yes.
Matter of fact, I would even say he may be campaigning. Okay? I would even say he may be campaigning.
2028?
Why did you just sell all your team? Why did you just sell that?
Point.
Well, because he's going to have to overcome one of the objections that he has to kind of get away from to prepare himself for 2028. Because for nearly 21 years, according to The Guardian, he built the whitest team in the NBA, 75%. He ran the whitest team in the NBA. So maybe it's kind of like a couple other changes before 2027, 2028. Because I'm telling you, 2028, if you think 2024 is exciting, wait till you see who's running in 2028. Do not be surprised if you see him, if you see Jamie. I'm about to step down. Why for? Chase.
Jamie Dimon.
Okay. Yeah. If you see The Rock, if you see the 2028 field could be so star-studded.
I agree.
All of these people that want to put that last check mark on their resume. He's not a trifecta yet like Trump. Marc Cuban's not. Cuban is a trifecta. Trump is a trifecta. He won on TV, he won on business, and he won in politics. Cuban won on TV, Shark Tank, got to give it to him, great show.
Media.
He's won in media, right? He's won in business, billionaire. He's got one last thing left. He'll never be a trifecta if he doesn't get the last one. So
prediction right
now,
there.
We'll see. All I'm saying is 2028, 2027 will be a true NBA draft, except it's going to be a what? Presidential draft. Here's what we're doing at the Comedy Club, 5990 Live. We and our staff will be watching the debate, and we'll do a podcast at night. The debate is at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10:30. So we're talking about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will probably start at 8:30 and go till about 11:30 and comment on it. And there's going to be an audience there of our teammates, and family and friends will be there as well. However, for the first 50 people that purchase $300 worth of merch, we will give you 2 tickets to come and attend the event with us.
Sick.
And people that purchase the $300 worth of merch, priority for seats will be based on first come, first serve.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.